Today we are building explosion-proof bug-eye LED emergency fixtures. The tools we'll be needing today is a hand tap for 1032, a T-handle tool, wire strippers, 15-inch wrench, a razor knife, wire strippers, and a drill. We'll start out with a GEBT2. Unbox it, put it on the jaw horse. Start out by removing the lid, making sure that everything is 3/4 inch fittings, which they are. We put it in the jaw horse. We crank it down. We'll take a 3/4 inch close nipple. Start out with using some Loctite, just a dab-a-do-ya. Thread it on. I like to thread it on hand tight. Starting with the EYS, removing the larger plug. Tighten down the small one so it doesn't slip out. With the small end facing the GEBT2, you put Loctite on it, and you hand thread it till you can't thread it anymore. Then I use my cheater bar just to make sure everything is nice and snug. I'm going to tighten this up as good as we can. This is very important for the build, for everything to be nice and tight. Got to make sure this thing is straight, like so. Just make sure everything's lined up correctly. 3/4 inch close nipple. Hand tight again. We take another HKBGL out of the box. Remove the lens, making sure that your ring comes off with the lid. Take your T-handle, remove the plug on one side. At this point, you can go ahead and use this plug to put on the right side of your bottom piece. Remove your paperwork, making sure this is on the right hand side of the build. Loctite, just a dab-a-do-ya. Making sure you do not cross thread it. Go ahead and tighten it down by hand. At this point, you're going to need your cheater bar. Put it on the inside. Try to get as tight as you can get it. Should be good. Get you another 3/4 inch close nipple, a little bit of Loctite. Put it on the top. As you build, just making sure everything's clean. It's easier for the finished product. Get your HKBGL with a 3/4 inch drill and tap with NPT tap. Put a little bit more Loctite in there. Let me thread it on. You're gonna need your cheater bar again. We'll move on to the unions. Always take part of it off, the top part off. Have a little bit of Loctite. Use your 15-inch wrench. Adjust it down to size. Leaving about 3 threads showing. Do the same thing on the other side. Remove your top part of your union. More Loctite. Again, with 3 threads to match the other side. You get your wiring. The bigger end goes inside this housing right here. Thread it through, pulling some out, like so. Get one for the bottom light right here. The big part right here feeds up. The top part you removed earlier, put some Loctite on there. Nice and tight. Add the Loctite so we can just slide the nipples on there here in a minute. Get it hand tight again. The reason we have the unions for the customer to adjust this part and the bug eyes on top. Get your 3/4 inch close nipple. You already have your Loctite in there. Making sure you don't lose your wire. Put it on there hand tight. Other side with a 3/4 inch close nipple. You already have your Loctite in there. Making sure your wire's pulled out. Hand tight. Good as you can get it. We move on to our 90-degree elbows. You're gonna have to bend your wire a little bit so to make the 90-degree angle. Slide it through. Get on there as tight as you can get it by hand. Grab your cheater bar. Again, making sure your wire is out. Tighten it down as far as you can and proceed to tighten it up. Like so. Feed it through. As tight as you can by hand. I always like to make sure I got plenty of wire so it doesn't drop through. EXP-EMG-EXT-LE6-3L. Put it in the box. Remove the paperwork. With one more union, put some more Loctite on there. Feed your wire through. Get your other union. Take it apart. Set one part to the side. A little bit of Loctite. Spread it down as far as you can. Now we remove the setup from the drawers. Set it to the side from the box. Making sure your ring is off too. We take the plug out. Put it on the other side. With your 3/4 inch hole facing up, tighten it down the jaw horse. Get it as tight as you can get it. Remove it from the jaw horse. Set it to the side. Do the same thing for this one. This QC will check how tight it is. Remove the housing. Set it to the side. Put this back in. You always want this piece facing out. Feed your wire through. Get it hand tied. Make sure it's tight. Move on to your other one. Again, this piece facing out. We move on to our lights. You take these and cut them down to a 45-degree angle each corner. This is your plug side. Plug it up. Gonna have to drill through the housing. I usually go about 3 threads down. At this point, you want to make sure your light is straight. Drill through it. Get you some tap magic on your 10-30-32 tap. After you made sure that it's tapped fully, slowly back it out to make sure you have good threads. using a 1032 set screw. Put it on your bit. Should go smooth if you tapped it right. Make sure that your set screw is past your threads on your housing so your lid will go on smoothly. About 3 threads down. Make sure your light's even. Add some more tap magic. When it hits the light, you know it's good because you only have to tap this part. 1032 set screw. Put in your T-handle. Make sure your light's nice and tight and wipe everything down, including the inside of your light to remove fingerprints and debris. Put your black O-ring back on. Put your lid back on. If you encounter any problems with getting your lid on, it's more than likely your set screw. Get as tight as you can get it. Using an Allen wrench, you tighten down the lid's set screw. Be sure not to break the set screw because they are sensitive. Plug your light in, like so. I like to put the wires on the same side it's fed through. I'm trying to get about 3 threads down. Make sure your light is even and drill into the light. Go back to your tap magic. You back it out slowly to make sure your threads are even. Get you a 1032 set screw. Put on your T-handle. Make sure your set screw is past your threads, like so. Get your light even. Got you a little bit more tap magic. Put you another 1032 set screw. Remove any debris you have. Put your O-ring on. Push it back. your 1032 set screw. After this, I'm going to back out this side. Let my light fall to the side. Remove my debris. 16.4. Let's go ahead and measure it out. I'm going to leave a couple, about 6 to 8 inches for the customer. Using the strippers. You remove your green wire. That will be used here in a little bit, but not the full length. You're going to need your black wire, your red wire, and your white. The rest can be thrown away. I'll have to take my wire, put a little bit of it together. Set it down. Take this part of the wire at the bottom, feed it through the left side. I like to leave some about to the lid. Strip all your wire back. Just enough for your Wagos to clip on. Get your knife. Cut out your plugs. Like so. Plug them into your plug side. Black and white wire. Twist it at the end. Feed it through your EYS. Feed it through your bottom light. And finally, you feed it through to where your motherboard goes. There we go. Alright. Let's strip back our wires right here for the Wagos. Your red, your white, your black. Go ahead and strip back your battery wire. And then you clip this part off right here. I like to leave a little bit of room just in case I have to make some more of these. And I have a little bit of room to solder. Let's take your blue and yellow. Strip it back for the Wagos. Using a 2-hole Wago, combine your wires. Each time I put one in there, I check it. I'll go ahead and put all the Wagos on before we put it together. You go ahead, get your motherboard out. This is separated for your light. So you isolate the wires for your light, which will be your blue and yellow. White and blue to go together. Just check it. Black and yellow go together. Check it. And these are your battery wires. White goes to white. Make sure it's together. And black goes to black. Check it. We can go ahead and put our bottom light back together. After putting your light in, make sure that your O-ring is on. And slide your lid on. Allen wrench. Tighten up your set screw. Like so. Put your wires together up here. Black goes to black. White goes to white. And red goes to red. Just make sure your wires look good. And then you call QC to come check out your wires. Can I get somebody from QC into the conference room, please? Looks good to me. Cool, cool. After you have QC come check out your wiring, I like to part everything over to the side. Put my motherboard in, because it will be a tight fit. This over. Get your drill. This part you're gonna have to drill into your Delrin. Kick it to the side. Like so.
I got the product by my
Just get a little bit drilled in. Kick it to the side. Sure everything looks good. Putting your O-ring on. Go ahead and slide your lid on. Nice and tight. Using your Allen wrench, tighten down your set screw on this one. Taking your J bracket, remove your sticker. Using a marker, get lined up. Put my J bracket on, line up my holes. Start me the spot to drill at. Making sure your bit is even. You want to avoid drilling in too deep. Like that. A little bit of tap magic. Making sure it's nice and level. And you'll feel it bottom out. And slowly back out. Thread it down till you feel it bottom out. Using a rag, clean up your area. Using your J bracket, line up your holes. Take your set screws. I like to get one hand tie. Get nice and tight. Move on to the next one. Get it nice and tight to make sure it does not wobble. You want no play in this bracket. Take it out. Have to pull these back a little bit. Not that far. About like that. Using your packing wool. Let's take the fiber. Get about a palm's worth. Make sure my wires are nice and out. I'm going to pack it in this side right here. Once you feel a little wall right there of wool, you know you're good. Get you some more for the other side. Put it through the EYS. Using a little bit more. We go ahead and make that firm wall for your Chico. Let's separate the wires. All the way back and all the way forward. There's your white. There's your battery black, battery white, your power black, and your power red. I just use scrap bottles for my Chico mix. Remove the lid on your Chico. Pour some in. have to use a mixing paddle. Using your water. Should do good right there. Got a nice little milkshake texture to it. It's good. Go ahead and pour it in. At this point, I'm going to take a rubber mallet or something to that effect. So once you knock it down, it settles a little bit more. Just want to make sure you don't scar up your UIS. It's going to be a little bit thinner. This is what you want as you pour towards the end, because you have to be precise right at the bottom of the threads. That should do it. After making sure your Chico is at the proper level and dry, we can move on to setting up the ground wire. Slide on your fitting, crimp it down, give it a little pull to make sure it's on there good, and then you remove your screw. Fish it through one side. I like to leave some slack in there so I can pull it around to the side. Go ahead and get your screw on your screwdriver. Tighten it down. We move on to labeling. We'll start with 120 volts. Making sure it's nice and even. Move to neutral. That's your white wire. Then your 277 volt wire. Always remember to flag your battery wire. Using a tape measure, you measure out your sign, which is 12 inches, and your bracket is about at 6 inches, 3 inches on each side. So you can remove your plastic sticker. Line up your sign using spray adhesive. You apply your sign. Using a cloth to get the spots where it bubbled up at, because it will bubble up on your sign. Just going to lay a little bit more down. making sure you get your corners as well as your edges. I like to line up one corner, then my edge, let your sign set up for a little bit. There you go. Make sure there's no bubbles in it. Using your razor knife, you clean up your edges. This is where you got to be careful. You drill slow so it doesn't rip your sign. Put your washer down. Wash in the front, wash in the back. Just put it hand tight. Wash in the front. Drop your screw in. Wash in the back. Put your nut on. We do not put it on there until we send it to the customer, and they will put the sign on themselves so it does not get damaged during shipping. Now we move on to testing of our light. We drop a battery in there. Using a pair of strippers, strip back your black wire, your neutral. I'll have to go ahead and strip it back for the customer. The red and the ground. Using your whip, put your neutral together. Black for your power. Your exit will glow. Plug your battery up, like so. Give it a few seconds, let the battery charge from the power. Unplug it. These lights will come on, and then you will have light showing for the exit. The final stickering is to put your label, which matches your SKU number, which it does. So we take it, I always put it right here at the bottom. Assignment sticker, always put it on the right hand side. When quality control's done, they put theirs on this side for the final label. Always put this right here in the middle. I like to unplug my battery when I'm done, just so it saves battery. Put the plug in for QC just by hand so they know everything's together. but they also can check your Chico work. Before you send it over, get you a light cloth. Just clean anything up that you have over there so it looks good for them. And that's it.